Hello viewers, today we're going to be taking a look at two of my newer high velocity fans. I bought these within the last month, so I thought we'd take a look at them. So if you guys remember the one video I did when I got my first 9-inch high velocity fan, I needed something for the weather wheel so that way it could at least operate properly for a while. So that's when I went and bought these two fans as well. So my bedroom fan, which was my first Mainstays product I ever bought, is currently up in the bedroom doing what it was made to do. So I thought I would go ahead and show my two other Mainstays here that we've got here in the shop for use on the weather wheel. So anyway, this fan closest to the camera here, this one's seen a bit of use. The only problem was they put the screws on so tight I couldn't even get them off. And then when I was finally able to get them off, they were pretty much stripped. So, unfortunately, this fan really cannot be cleaned and serviced. Unlike this one right here, I actually had to take it apart, I had to balance it, and I had to repitch the blades so that they're all the same. And that was a pretty rough deal. So I had to go through and fix both these fans. Try to fix this one when I first pulled it out of the box, and this one had the same thing. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these fans now. We're going to run them both up for you at the same time so you can kind of hear the difference. Now we're going to take a look at the information since it's essentially the same for both fans. So if we look on this one here, we've got model number SFC-225BR-1, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 0.65 amps. Jagman Kai Electric Appliances Company, so it's made in China. Made in China. Date code 2201. So this fan here is made January 2022. So this fan is only 7 months old. It was manufactured 7 months ago. So I bought this one about maybe less than a month ago. So anyway, we've got thermally protected. This fan is suitable for household use only. So I don't use these commercial. I just use them here at the house. So the funny thing about these fans is they've got the C-frame shaded pole motors. These have the C-frame motors. But what's funny is these do have a startup sound. So when I go ahead, so we're going to run them both individually first, and then we're going to run them together so you can hear what they both sound like running at once, just like you would hear on the weather wheel, which we did in the update video when we ran it for you. So anyway, I got the weather wheel. I'll show you that real quick. I've got the weather wheel on my rig there. I've got it draining right now. So I'm actually draining out the condensate from yesterday. So anyway, I figure we'd show that real quick. But back to the fans. So no, I'm not gonna get my laptop wet. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put something here we can put my laptop on top of. So I'm gonna use this. That way it there we go. So we're going to go ahead and run this one first. This is the one that I can't even get it apart to service and clean. It looks like it's already needing cleaning. And of course I can't because the screws are stripped. There's no way I can get them out because the heads are stripped as well. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off on low. Now the funny thing about these fans is that they both start on high instead of low. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start this one up on low. So we need to give it some time to warm up. It's going to take a minute. So yes, this one, actually, believe it or not, this one's not even vibrating at all, despite how bad the blade is out of clock. So that's pretty much, that's as fast as it's going to go on low for right now. So we're going to medium. There's a noticeable difference in between the speeds, which is actually quite nice, that there's actually a notable difference in between the speeds. So yes, it actually is starting to speed up a little bit. So it's starting to warm up. So yeah, and it's moving a decent breeze. Surprisingly, they move more than my bedroom fan does, but that's because this one I couldn't really service. My bedroom one, I had to repitch it. You know, I had to lessen the pitch a tiny bit because the motor on my bedroom one was starting to run pretty hot. But yeah, this one does have a nice operating sound to it. So we're going to go to high. So these are very quiet though, so they are suitable for use in the bedroom. So here, I'll let this one warm up a little bit. So I think that's about as fast as it's gonna run for right now. Probably gonna have to oil it. Probably gonna have to oil it a little more. Despite the fact that I can't get it apart, at least I can attempt to oil it. Alright, we'll do a spin down. Alright, spin down's not terrible. As you guys heard, it does need some oil. So I'm going to try to get it fully dismantled so I can oil it. So anyway, that's this one here. Alright, now we're going to take a look at this one here. Here's the one I just bought about maybe a week ago. I bought this. So I bought this one with the 20-inch one, which we already did a video on. So this one here is this is my other one, which we use on the evaporator coils on the fetters. So we use that on this coil here. So this fan blows air into the coils in order to dehumidify and to keep the compressor from getting frozen up. Because sometimes if you get the compressor frozen up, then it's going to eventually fail. Because that will eventually damage it. So you don't want to... You want it to be running, but you want it to be at least sweaty. Alright, here's a closer look at this fan here. As you can tell, this one's pretty much... They're the same fan. This one, I've already taken it apart and cleaned and serviced it. But we are going to do another video on where we do the full cleaning and servicing. Because I was actually able to get... I was pretty much able to get the blade off this one. But by the way, I did learn a little trick though, just in case you guys didn't know. If for whatever reason your fan's blade does not come off the drive shaft, it's most likely because they bored. It's most likely because the shaft hole had shrunk a tiny bit. So the best way you can fix that is to try to expand the hole in the blade a little bit that goes on the drive shaft. Or if you can try to take the two screws out on the yoke there, and that'll allow you to, take the armature along with the front bearing out, along with the front bearing and with the blade still on it. That way you can at least oil the front and the rear bearings at once, which I already did for this fan. So, Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and run this one now for you. This one's just starting to get dusty, so yeah, I gave it a little bit of use already. You know, it's starting to see a little bit of dust, so when it comes time, we'll do another cleaning and servicing video on it. So anyway, I'm going to put the fan this way so that way we're not getting you wind noise. Alright, here goes this one. We're going to start off on low. Listen to how much quieter this one is. So yes, this one is shaking. This one's shaking a little bit on the ground. But surprisingly, it's not terrible. So we are going to have to balance this one again. At least try to correct the problem. Alright, going to go up to medium. Now, don't mind me, guys. I actually do like the sound these make when they vibrate a tiny bit. Now this one I did lubricate it, by the way, so it's not making as much noise as the other one did. And it's actually moving. It's actually moving a decent amount of air. It's actually putting out a nice breeze. So yeah, we warmed it up a little bit, but we're probably going to have to warm it up more. So right now it's running at about 1200 RPM. Oh, there we go. It's starting to speed up a little bit. So yeah, it's so quiet. I don't even have to speak over it. It's that quiet. It's back to high. Okay, so it's not really vibrating at all. So the balance is actually pretty decent. It's just the blades need to be brought back into clock, and that should probably like resolve the vibrating problem completely. But yeah, notice how it's actually starting to run faster now, which is okay, because, you know, that's what it's going to do. So, it's actually a really good fan, so it's nice and quiet. It puts out a really good breeze. Alright. So we're going to do a spin down here. Okay, so the spin down time is not terrible. The other one was a little bit longer, but that's okay. Because this one I don't use it, because I always shut the fetters off at night. I always shut all the fans off at night. And usually I try to turn them on in the morning, so when time comes time to run the weather wheel for the day, to do the dehumidifying that I need it to do, that's usually how we're going to do it. So before we move on here, I'm going to push the fetters back where it goes. So anyway, I just push the fetters back where it goes. Yes, the big 20-pound time plate got in its way again. But it's no worries. At least got the problem somewhat solved. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run both fans together. so you can kind of hear the difference between them. So we're going to compare airflow, loudness, and speed. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start them up on low. Okay, this one started up faster. So right now they're running pretty good. Just try to warm this one up a little bit. So this one's staying right near about 1200 RPM. This one's a little over 1200 RPM. This one's running about 1215 RPM. And this one's running actually under 1200. It's around 1180 RPM, I think. That's what this one's running at. Alright. So they're moving pretty much the same amount of air. Of course they're running different speeds because this one needs to be oiled, but of course it's hard to get this one apart, so I don't know how well I'll be able to service the rear bearing on this fan. Alright, so we're going to move up to medium here. So they are, like I said, they're moving about, actually I think this one might be moving a tiny bit more. So right now they're just about the same speed. This one's running a little bit faster. This one's running a little slower. Because this one I wasn't really able to oil it that well because of how tight they put the screws on. It stripped the bit on my driver, so... So now we're going to put them both on high. Alright, so now they're running about the same speed. This one running a little bit faster. So yeah, despite this one over here being serviced, this one's surprisingly running faster. So I don't get that. In this one I wasn't really able to service or clean it. Alright, so we'll do a spin down. We'll see which one has the longer spin down. Okay, this one got the longer spin down, but that only barely. So other than that, these are pretty good fans. This one here was always used on the condenser of the fetters. So this one actually goes in the fan shroud. And that's how it moves air through the entire coil. And then this one I used my other fan shroud. And I used that on the evaporator. So anyway... Here's the two 9-inch Mainstays fans. So we ran them individually and ran them together. So those are the two 9-inch fans. So anyway, thanks for watching.